welcome back to my channel. Today I am back with a new video for you guys. Today's video is going to be all about the skin, as you can see right here. So lately I've been really loving to rock like a very luminous, dewy look on my skin. However, as many of you may know, my skin is very oily, so I do have to take some extra steps in order to get this luminous finish, have it stay on all day, give me, you know, good coverage, but I still get to rock the glow. So I thought that I would share with you guys some of the tips that I do to get dewy skin but not look like a grease ball at the end of the day. If you guys do happen to find this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos. I would appreciate it so much. And without further ado, let's jump into this foundation look / routine. First and foremost, I always start by prepping my skin, and I like moisturizing using organic virgin coconut oil. Many of you guys may know, if you've been watching my videos for a while, I used to have very bad acne, very oily skin. And as soon as I started using this, it cleared my skin up. My makeup doesn't get nearly as like greasy throughout the day. Don't get nearly as shiny in my T-zone as I used to. And if your skin's more oily, I definitely recommend giving this a try. A lot of people get scared, like, my skin's oily, why would I put an oil on my skin? But this is like a sebum producing oil, so it doesn't create oils. It tricks your skin into thinking you already got enough oil, so your skin won't produce more. So, I mean, if you're trying to find a good moisturizer and your skin's super oily, just give this a try for maybe one day. You might really like it. It's really cheap. You get it at like your regular grocery store. But yeah, I just get the pure organic coconut oil, like a dime size amount, and then just put it all over my skin. My skin moisturizer, I then go in with a hydrating primer. My favorite hydrating primer is the Too Faced Hangover. So I really like this primer because it has coconut water in it, and it gives the skin like a soft glow, but it doesn't make my skin greasy. So I really love this when I want to add that glow. And I just start by focusing this on like the high points of my cheeks. Kind of look around this area. I try to avoid my T-zone just because that's where I tend to get more oily. So you just want to put like a primer that's going to add some more hydration, just kind of like on the high points of your face, but like ignoring the areas that you get more oily. Once I apply my hydrating primer, I then go in with a more like smoothing, mattifying primer. So I'm just taking my Makeup Forever Step 1 smoothing primer. These are the two primers I happen to really enjoy. However, the drugstore does have plenty of really affordable mattifying and hydrating primers. So just go in with your two favorite runs, and you just want to focus the more mattifying one in the T-zone area or on the areas that you get more oily. So I like this because it'll control my oils where I get more oily, but then I still have that glow everywhere else that I'm not as oily. My skin's nice and primed, I move on to foundation. So I like mixing a very matte full coverage foundation with a very luminous lightweight coverage foundation. You could even mix it with like a very lightweight luminous BB cream. You're able to kind of get that glow, but then still have that mattifying one to control your oil. So you just kind of custom blend your foundation. Two favorite foundations to mix for this look are the Lancome Teint Idole 24-Hour Foundation and then the Teint Miracle. This one is very sheer, very luminous, tons of glow, but I really like this one because it's oil free. So just make sure if you're oily to try to find a luminous foundation that's oil free, that way your skin won't go too out of whack. And then this one is like as full coverage and as matte as it gets, so just a perfect combination. If you're looking for a good drugstore alternative, these are two foundations I love. You can use the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless, very real full coverage, very matte, and then you can also mix that with the L'Oreal True Match Lumi and just get your perfect little foundation concoction. Start with one pump of the Teint Miracle. As you can see, it's a lot more runny. One pump of the Teint Idole, the more matte one, a lot more thick, and then I just kind of blend it together, kind of like stripe it. I just take my handy dandy damp beauty blender and I'm just gonna go ahead and press that into my skin in sort of like a press and roll motion. foundation is applied, I'm gonna move on to my concealer slash highlight. Today I'm using the Nars Radiant Cream Concealer in Creme Brulee. I like this concealer because it is, to me, more of like a matte finish concealer, even though it says radiant. It has like a subtle glow, but it's definitely more on like the full coverage, long wearing matte side. So just like striping it and just kind of highlighting my under eye, down my nose, and then chin and forehead. And then just really push this into the skin. So now that my concealer is all blended out, I just like going in with like a cream contour base slash bronzer. The cream contour stick that I really like using is the one by Wet n Wild, and mine is in the shade Calm Maple. I really like this color because I use it as like a cream bronzer almost. It's definitely more on the warm side, so it just adds like a subtle warmth and then soft glow since it is a cream. So I just apply this to the areas I would normally contour, and then I just buff it out with my beauty blender. So I like starting kind of on the forehead and then just wrapping that around my jawline. I do 3 little tribal marks here. Bring it around here. Jawline. And I also like using it just to contour my nose a little bit. You can completely skip this step if your nose isn't pudgy and round like mine. I mean, I really don't mind my nose, but I just feel like it like balances everything. And I'm so used to contouring my nose that it's like weird when I do my makeup and it's not contoured. And to buff that out, again, I use my damp beauty blender, and I just like pushing it up in like short, swift motions. You want to make sure you blend it up because if you drag it down, you're going to make the face just look long and muddy. That's definitely not a look. At least I don't try to go for that kind of look. Now that we have all of our creams blended out, we can go ahead and start setting. So I'm going to start by setting my under eye area using the Airspun Loose Face Powder. This is in Translucent Extra Coverage. And I really like this powder. I've only mentioned it in almost like every video. Add a little bit extra coverage under the eye area without being too cakey, and then it really does brighten it up. So just like pouring a good amount on my cap, but I'm almost out. I just kind of pat in and just really push this into my skin. So I'm not really baking, I'm just really pushing it into the skin with the damp beauty blender. And I was like pushing inward, that way it doesn't set on any of those stubborn crevices under the eye area. So now I'm going to set the areas that I cream contoured, and I like using my Too Faced Chocolate Soleil Matte Bronzer. This is in the shade Medium Deep. It's just a nice neutral brown. And I'm just gonna lightly set these areas, and it's just going to keep it on all day. I am gonna have the lines a little bit harsh, not completely blended out, because at the end I'm gonna buff everything out with a foundation powder. So for blush, a tip that I like doing for having more oily skin is I like mixing a matte and shimmer blush shade together. That way I still get a subtle glow, but then it's not overpowering. The matte kind of helps pull some of that shine back, so then when your oils kind of break through your makeup through the day, it's not going to look super greasy. Use MAC Spring Flock, and then also Gleeful by MAC, which is a mineralized blush. This one definitely has more of a sheen, more of a soft glow, and then this one is more matte. But I do really like this blush because it doesn't have any sparkle, the one with the shimmer, so it's not too overpowering, and sometimes I can get away with using it by itself without the matte blush. For my favorite part, the highlight. Again, I'm gonna go in very heavy-handed with a beaming highlight. because right after this step, I'm gonna buff everything away with a foundation powder, and that's just gonna fuse everything together, set it in place, and then prevent my oils from breaking through. The two highlights that I'm gonna be using today are actually both by Makeup Revolution, coincidentally, and I'm taking the Shimmer Brick, and then I'm also taking their Vivid Baked highlighter in the shade Gold Lights. I really love their highlights. They are very affordable. I got them at like Ulta. They're like $7, but they are very intense, very rich in pigment, very beautiful. So highly recommend them if you're looking for a really nice drugstore highlight. I'm gonna start by taking the Shimmer Brick one, and I'm just applying this on my cheekbone. So now that I look like a complete clown and grease ball, I'm gonna go take my Makeup Studio Fix foundation powder. This is a mattifying powder, and you can use that as a foundation by itself, but I like really using this at the end of my makeup to fuse everything together, and then it's gonna tone down this intense contour, highlight, and blush, and just give me a more lit from within finish. And then it's also gonna help control my oils throughout the day so that I don't get super shiny, and it's gonna add another very fine layer of coverage so that it's, you know, more full face. It's gonna stay on even longer. So this step is really nice when you want your makeup just to look really airbrush, but you want it to stay on all day and you still want to take advantage of the glow without your oils eating away at it. So I'm just gonna start by dipping my brush, and then I just buff circular motions upward, just lightly fusing everything together. As you can see, you can still see that glow, but it's just not as intense. Forehead. A healthy looking glow. This would look like a mess in about 12 hours. Normally at this point in the look where everything is fused together and blended, I would go ahead and set it with a setting spray. I normally like using the MAC Fix Plus just because it adds some hydration, but then it also holds the makeup in place. And here you have it. This is the completed look. As you can see, once you take that powder at the end, that's just like the last final step that's really going to help control the oils, but then you're still able to keep that glow. I promise you, if you have oily skin, this should definitely help you. Let me know how it works out for you if you try it out. If you did enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos. I would appreciate it so much. But yeah, I hope that you guys found it helpful to be able to get a more full coverage but glowy glam look. So I will see you guys in my next video. I hope you all have an amazing day, and bye.